Welcome to another episode of GeekastX. I'm Jake.
And I'm Sean.
And today we are without, again, Brian. It's alright, he's taking a short leave of absence. He'll be back with us shortly. But anyways, I have a special guest, a close friend of mine, somebody I met through my neighbor, actually. And he happens to be the lead singer of a band, a local band known as the Up All Nights. He also happens to play the guitar for them. He's a big rock star looking motherfucker, that's for sure. But he's got a huge geek side. Definite geek side. I mean, he has to be. He has to if he's on our podcast. So, with that being said, I'd like to introduce my friend Sammy Dodge here.
Hi, everybody.
Good friend of mine, and we'll get into this real quick. I'd like to do a special. Let's go ahead and do a couple plugs real quick. Our parent site, Nerd Overload. You can listen to the cast there. You can find us on YouTube, iTunes. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/thegeekazoidofficial. And with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. How you doing, Sammy?
Well, I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me on your podcast. You're down a person. I'm glad to replace them entirely forever.
Wait. So, is it Sam or do you go by Sammy? Does it matter?
Sammy sounds friendlier, and for that reason, I prefer it.
Okay,
All right, cool. I like that.
Did you ever watch Being Human?
Being Human?
Yeah.
Like the old Robin Williams film?
No. There was a show with vampires and werewolves.
No.
Anyway.
However, I did see the Robin Williams film.
Well, what I'm saying is, on the cast, there was a guy named... the two main guys on the show, they were Josh and Aiden. The actors, both named were Sam. It was Sam Huntington and Sam Witwer. And one of them went by Sammy, while the other one went by Sam on the set. So that way they could tell each other apart.
Absolutely.
Interesting. I know a lot of fucking Sams.
I like to be told apart from other ones.
There you go. That's one way to do it.
You can just call me Cool Sammy.
Yeah.
Right. So you guys just recorded so the Up All Nights, local band. Anyways, where would you guys say you originate from?
We're from Columbus.
Columbus, yeah. Okay. You guys just recorded a music video, right? Am I correct?
Yes, we have a music video that's coming out probably next week. It's already done, but there's a teaser video going up for it within the next couple of days. It's for a song called Sunsets. It's off our most recent EP, which is entitled The Goddamn Up All Nights. And if you go to upallnights.com, you can find that and download it for free.
Sweet. That's awesome. I love free music.
Yes, you can listen to it and get stoked for that video.
And your band website, isn't it whatsupallnight.com?
It's upallnights.com is the website, upallnights.com. We do have a web series that's more like a podcast on YouTube. It doesn't really have anything to do with the band and never really did so much, but it's called What's Up All Night.
Yes, and you can actually I am a guest on one of their episodes.
Yeah, our most recent episode does feature Jake, and not because he's a nerd, but he still is.
Definitely.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's
luau themed.
Yeah, luau themed.
It's a luau themed episode.
We film it at my neighbor's, who is Sammy's younger brother, and his younger brother Jack and I are next door neighbors. And in the video, I literally was walking over there to, hey guys, are we still doing that video? And walked into filming the video, and it turns out to be a pretty good time. Definitely give it a watch.
I will.
All right, so I don't think I've ever asked any of you guys this. How long have you been doing music? How long have the Up All Nights been together?
Well, the Up All Nights have always been and will always be. So that's the most concise answer that I could try to explain to you.
Oh, yeah, all right. When was the first show?
Super meta.
Oh yeah, it's very meta. The Up All Nights first show, I believe, was in. This is gonna be crazy. Was in 2007.
Oh, wow.
And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure our first show was at Jack and Yo-Yo at the time were in high school, and we played their winter formal dance.
Oh.
And we were all pretty drunk and much too drunk to go play a high school dance, but we didn't know that until we saw footage from it later. Like, our friend recorded it, and we were like, oh wow, we're really visibly drunk there. Can't believe
awesome.
We got away with that. So that was the first thing we were doing. Very rock and roll, going to school dances, breaking rules.
Oh, that's glorious. I love it.
I believe
That's
that
such a
was
good story.
the first show.
I feel like I've seen that video.
I think that a lot of the footage was lost. We may have a second or two of it, but it's like on a hard drive. We think someday we'll have the technology to restore. Like, there's more of it, but there may be a bit.
Damn.
There may be a bit of it that it's available now.
Dang.
That's awesome. So, all right, I know you try to explain it to me, but I want to recreate that conversation about describe the kind of music that you play.
The kind of music is actually a better way to get the answers you want out of me, because then I have to say it's rock and roll, man. So, like, I have to tell you that it's rock and roll. It's we don't play the set list, and there's no exact necessary like way that any of the songs will go. It's every show is its own thing. Anything could happen. A song might take off and become like another song. Or that song might just go differently than it ever has, or I might forget the words and make up new words, or I might get unplugged from my amplifier, and my drummer might throw his floor tom at the audience. Like, I don't have any control over what they do, so it's like a three-piece effort, and they're not subservient to whatever I want to happen. So right. I may be going for something and look, and Yo-Yo's climbing up the side of a building. That happened to me this summer. I was like, why did the drums stop? Because my drummer's climbing up a building nearby.
That's crazy.
So, it's rock and roll. We have a good time, and we would like to kind of make it a party that everyone is having a great celebration in honor of us. And that's how I want you to feel at the show. Like, you are having this great party, but it's for me. Right?
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
Dude, it is a fun show. My first experience watching them play.
Wait, so do you guys do you have original songs? Do you ever do covers?
We might do maybe a cover at a show. I wouldn't say we play a cover every time. But we've been known to maybe throw in a Rolling Stones song. That would be maybe typical. You might see one, something like that. But in the past we've had over such a long period of time, we've had many covers. We don't play a lot, though. Our original songs are going to take up most of the set. And again, we're not really worried if you recognize the music that you hear. Like, if it's something new to you and you're at our show, that's fine, because once you're at our show, we've got you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's a good show. See, my first experience seeing them, they're on this bar patio, and it's like very brick style architecture around. And we're kind of in this little corner of two buildings, and there's these brick walls, and they're against one side of the wall, one side's to you, and then you can see the sky. If you're looking at them at a certain angle, they're playing in front of the sky, and there's shows going on, and then you see lightning bolts in the sky, but it's not raining. It's not raining on top of us. There's no clouds above us, and it's just off in the offset, and they're playing in the dark. And being lit up by the lightning, and it was a blast.
Did it look like? Do you remember in the old animated series of Batman?
It looked like that. It looked like fucking Batman, dude. The Dark Knight Returns. Yeah, goddamn Up All Nights returns.
I'm not gonna say that Batman and the Up All Nights don't just require that sort of setting. It just it happens. Batman shows up. You get film noir lightning. Same thing with the Up All Nights.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's.
And we're both knights. You know, the Knights of Night.
That's pretty.
Mhm.
I was gonna make that connection too. Very clever.
Mhm.
So how did you come up with the band name?
I wanted to call the band that as soon as we had the idea that we would play together. So it was me. I liked the idea, but it was really appropriate because when we first played, Jack and Yaya were new to their instruments, and I actually didn't play that much electric guitar. I just played acoustic. So our rehearsals were kind of what was keeping us up all night. People are like, "Oh, you guys up all night partying?" We were up all night practicing so that one day we could party all night well.
That's
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool name. I've always liked that. Do you have a favorite song that you guys play?
Oh, since mainly the songs are just songs that I write, they're all really good, and so it's hard for me just to say like this really good one's more really good. Right now, Sunsets is a fun jam, the one we're doing the video to. But then again, I wrote that song 8 years ago on piano, and it just now became a song we're playing, live and on guitar. So when you have this material from all these different times, I have different favorites at different times. I don't have a great answer for what would be my favorite. Not a great one. I think they're all pretty great. If a song's not good, I usually don't finish writing it. I just kind of toss it out and try again.
Nice.
Oh, really? That's different.
Yeah, I wouldn't play a song. I'm like, this one sucks, but it's on the set list. We only play typically 6 or 8 songs in a set. We don't like to sit there and play forever. I mean, we're not Elton John. You're not traveling to Vegas to see us because you've heard 30 of our albums. We're just there to impress, distress, and
right.
get out of there.
That's a funny way to put it. I don't think we talked about the band. So you're the lead singer. You play the guitar.
Yeah.
Jack, no, Sam is the oldest, and his younger brothers are twins. And then there's Jack, who plays the bass guitar, and Tom, as Sam has already referred to him as Yo-Yo, plays the drums.
Right.
Yeah. Have you ever had any other band members besides them?
Oh no, we've had multiple guests. We always like for someone to get up on stage, like if I've got a friend there, and let's say she's some awesome stage-worthy babe, some great singer. I'm gonna get her up there, and maybe that's when we would do a cover, so I could know in advance that she could do it and sing along. We've had several friends get up and just come up and play guitar. Our friend Stephen King, that's his real name, comes up and plays guitar whenever he's there.
That's
and
crazy.
we used to have a trick on stage we would do. We haven't been doing it all that much recently, but we used to. If there's enough musicians at a show, and you'll find that many people who go to shows are musicians, that we could hand off our instruments on a simple closer, like maybe something that's just got 3 chords, and get somebody I could get someone to just take my guitar and keep those chords going, and same with bass and drums. And a couple times we managed to hand off all of our instruments to people who weren't in the band, who were playing the song, and we just left.
What?
Just left it until they were done, and that was the end of the show.
That's awesome.
So that was a trick we used to do. So while there's no one else in the band, and again we are a brother band, like no other band on the other hand, snap like a rubber band, bold like a cougar and gold like go cougar ends, out of the frying pan and into the fryer van. So we don't have time for non-brothers.
Was that some freestyle?
It was and it wasn't. I remember the first part of that. That's something I've said somewhere. It's not written down. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
I will freestyle a bit if you... I'm just on coffee, but if you put some whiskey in here, I'll get real freestyle-y real fast.
Freestyle for freestyle. Yeah, I can't rap, but I can beatbox. All right, so let's get into some geek questions.
Oh, real quick before we penetrate Sam's geek side.
That sounds inviting.
Penetrate, I do mean. Anyways,
Don't worry, we spit on it.
Do you want to, Sam? Do you want to talk about your Chipotle, the Chipotle cup scripts?
Well, I don't think that I could possibly reveal them, and I'm also not sure on what I'm not like allowed to represent the
Oh
company
no.
in any
Okay.
way publicly. I can say that I can say I drew up some marketing ideas for cups for Chipotle, and that I am finding the avenues to take them down, and I may try to pin some of those. I like to write. I was, working there. I had some ideas,
Yeah.
and I think that what I could do is, if they get approved, and I think it's going to happen, I'll come back and reveal them on your show. How about that?
There we go. All right, we'll take that. I like that. Everybody likes Chipotle.
I do, but I've been properly brainwashed.
Yes. Sean, are you ready for the geek questions?
Yeah.
You want to start it off?
Yeah, sure. Well, it looks like you sent me all of the band questions, but there's like 3 comic questions. Who's your favorite comic book artist, if you were to pick one?
I do have a one particular favorite, which would be, as far as an artist goes, it's Alex Ross.
Right? Okay, I felt
And
that.
it would just be really hard for me to say that someone ever did a better job.
Mm-hmm.
I've got, a lot of people do a great job, but it's just as far as epic scope and conveying the idea that this is our modern mythology so well, and to make it so coherent that this is our, these are our Greek gods. This is what we have.
Have you ever,
I think that, go ahead.
I'm sure you probably have, but have you ever seen how he actually draws his pictures and stuff? Like, he has, like, people stand in, and he'll, like, snap a photo of them, and then he'll take that as a reference.
Absolutely. I've seen a little bit of that. I believe that sometimes in the back of, like, some comics that I own, it shows little insights to that. I think there were some great ones in a copy of Marvels I had that showed the different stand-ins he had, and some were so similar to what he was going for, and some were so different that, again, I don't know how much they're necessary to what he does, but he does.
Oh yeah,
try
definitely.
to make it real.
Like let's say for like he needed to draw Thor or something, like he'll have someone in there and he'll like hold a spoon. You know what I mean? Like they'll have nothing to do with each other, but he's so good he could just pull from just the way he's standing, or like the stand-in, how he is posed. It's very cool. Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite too.
Good stuff. What kind of comics have you read, Sam?
Me personally, I've read like really kind of a wide range of strange things that go back for quite a while. I have an older brother, which was good for me because he's 5 years older than me, and I got, because of him, kind of grandfathered in to a different age of comics than I was really around for. And so I, in a way, am an 80s baby of comic books. I had that older brother who really just like got me into some of that stuff. It is a glorious time. I inherited a lot of his comic books. He really sparked my interest in some things. We both collected Fleer Ultra cards. I'm not sure to what extent you guys are aware of these, but they were for Marvel and would feature an illustrator that someone comic books you've read, and then these cards could be maybe assembled into like 9 cards together, make a big comic book picture. So you collect them like people collect baseball cards. And
that's awesome.
I got a hold of some of these from my brother, and maybe he lost sort of interest in keeping up with it. And years later, I managed to complete some of his collections by trading with other older people. So like I finished off some of it. I've got quite a collection. It's actually, of anything that I own that's worth money, my Fleer Ultra X-Men trading card collection would probably be it.
That's great. Great.
A lot of fun there. If you guys haven't seen it, I'd love to bring it on like your YouTube bit or something.
Yeah,
I'd show you guys some madness that way.
Damn, that's sweet. Is that the collection you had showed me? All those Marvel cards, and you gave me that Daredevil card. Is that what you're?
Yeah, like a big binder of them.
Oh,
then I've got a whole box of doubles, and I have a separate binder with some latter day cards. This was really something I did up to like 96. So I was very young. when I was collecting these. I used to go to an ice cream shop. Right? I used to go to an ice cream shop, and I would spend like my allowance, at the time, on X-Men trading cards and comic books. I used to follow Superboy really heavily. I would get his comic books at the grocery, and so my mother would be like, "Who's going to help me go to the grocery?" And the trick of it was I'd go help her, but I'd get rewarded with this like $2.50 comic book that meant so much to me.
Yeah.
Very excited to follow those Superboy comics. At the time, they were really happening.
That old Superboy that's classic. I believe they've brought him back, that like look a little bit. The whole I want to call his like haircut like a neo-Nazi look.
It's a weird 90s cut for sure.
Yeah, but I mean he's got that earring, he's got the leather jacket, the glasses.
It's really exactly the Superman spandex outfit, just sans cape, add leather jacket. You can't beat that. Who would think that that's all it takes to look so cool?
Yeah, definitely.
They did a good job. I mean, I said the 80s were a golden time, but that's just what I picked up from my brother. For me, it was the 90s. That's what I collected. Anything from Death of Superman to all the way up to the wedding and the honeymoon of Superman. There was some fun stuff there to what happened with Superboy post, Death of Superman. Those were things that I followed pretty intensely.
So would you call Superman your favorite then?
I think that Superman is the quintessential superhero. They even use that word.
Yeah,
we're looking for those. He's a representation of the things people are not. And that's why I'm maybe drawn to him specifically. He is Superman, meaning more than, meaning these are all the things we aren't.
Yeah, definitely.
But I do love more than just Superman. Like I said, I have all of this X-Men history that I sleep and breathe for years. And I do love Batman, and I love Superboy. There's not a lot of Superboy talk, and this is where I always weird people out by saying, I don't know, Superboy's got a pretty good, chronology, pretty good storyline, captivating. He's got a hot reporter.
Yeah,
and he doesn't have an alter ego because he doesn't even need one. He's just Superboy.
What about?
No one's worried about him pretending to be someone else.
What about Connor Kent?
That's a little bit later, Sean. We're still talking like 90s Superboy.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I had to walk away from
it. And there is Oh, you're fine. There's also the prior. There's Superboy where it's Superman as a boy. Which happened.
I know what you're talking about, and that's where when you
so I was just talking about the science experiment. Just talking about the science experiment, Death of Superman version of Superboy. There are other ones, of course.
Of course, definitely. Superboy.
Yeah, I definitely. I'm a super fan. Like, I love all the like Superboy, Superman, Crypto, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, you gotta have Crypto. Crypto, for those of you listening who don't remember, is a flying dog.
Yeah, I have a stuffed animal of Crypto, and I plan to give it to my daughter someday when she's gentler with stuff. And, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I loved how in Young Justice how they portrayed Superboy. He was really cool. He's kind of like hot-headed all the time, but then they canceled the show and that pissed me off.
Well,
it was a good show.
Was he on Teen Titans as well, or was it just Young Justice?
No, he wasn't on Teen Titans. He was only on Young Justice.
Then that's the one I remember, and he was a badass.
Yeah. He was cool.
Although it was a little weird how like it wasn't like completely like how he is in the comic book. Like the fact like he couldn't fly or anything, he could just jump like the Hulk.
Yeah.
Right. And
over tall buildings. And
that's another thing about Superboy is they're never sure like where he is in his powers because Supermans were supposedly unlocked over this period of time, and then sometimes they have it so Superboy's more developing powers as he goes, and sometimes it's no, he was genetically made, so this is just the way it is.
Well, one interesting thing they did on Young Justice was Luthor. He came up with these patches, and like they're like nicotine patches. And when Superboy put them on, it unlocked all of it suppressed his human side, so he was full Kryptonian. So he had all of that's in season 2. So he had all of his Kryptonian powers.
Well, if those don't piss me off like nicotine patches do, I'd totally be wearing those.
It's funny you say that because that was a side effect. He'd go into a rage.
Yeah, they were probably like a nicotine patch. I put one of those on, I'd become a total bastard.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Good old Superboy. I love in the new Teen Titans. Not Teen Titans. Yeah, it is Teen Titans. The new 52 Teen Titans. Since we're talking about Superboy, I really like this part in it. They have Robin like collecting superheroes around, all the kids, and he like never actually does anything like badass until Superboy comes along, and he like kicks him in the face one time and like takes him down, and I was just like, what the hell? But it was cool because he did something else.
Superboy did that? Kicked Robin in the face, or Robin kicked
No,
Superboy?
Robin kicked Superboy in the face.
That's funny.
And it was like he'd weakened him somehow and like made him.
Sammy,
whatever.
do you watch Arrow or The Flash?
I'm not up on those. I have I've seen I have not watched TV very much for a long time, but I did see some stuff at least for Flash that made that look like something I should really be following. At some point, I'll probably just binge it on like DVD or Netflix.
Or Netflix, yeah, you'll be up all night watching it.
Right, so it's hard for me to follow a show. The only thing I follow that comes out all the time is South Park.
No.
And they actually have some pretty great superheroes as of late on that show. I don't know if you're aware of the Coon or Mysterion, but they have their own superhero alter universe that's hilarious and wonderful.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I'll catch up on those at some point. I know Jake, I'll hit him up and he's like, Arrow's on. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Yeah, we usually go
yeah.
I can't I actually skipped it last night.
Usually when I haven't watched last night's either, but usually that's when we podcast, like on Flash Day or Arrow Day. So like
just to get pumped up.
Yeah, we'll be talking about last week's episode, and Jake seems to like to do this thing when we'll be talking about something, and so that our listeners have a scope of what day we recorded on. Jake seems to be like, it was a Wednesday, bitches, or something like that.
That's great. Being that aware of what happened.
That's funny. I love Arrow Wednesdays. We always get into talking about it somehow. I mean, even right now, it's been brought up.
All of our podcasts somehow revert to Arrow. Do you watch Doctor Who?
I don't watch Doctor Who. I know way more about that show than I do about what's going on with Flash and Arrow, just because everyone talks about Doctor Who. Again, if I do keep up on some nerdy things, I so much try to. I didn't miss Winter Soldier, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
I was there twice in the same week, very much on purpose. Very excited and ready to go. And I think that I will probably accidentally see an episode of Arrow or Flash, and then I'll be screwed on getting anything done for a week.
No, that's funny. Yeah, man. Winter Soldier. Dude, that movie, I feel like that movie's just milestone-age right now. It wasn't necessarily the biggest movie of the summer. Guardians of the Galaxy beat it. But I think that movie just came out and said...
I gotta say, that's one of the best.
Hold on. It said we can make a superhero movie that is different than what you have seen before. We can make one that is a different genre with the same characters and the same, and stay true to it. But we can diversify the product that we're selling you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that movie broke barriers that way.
What were you saying, Sean?
I was just gonna say that was probably my favorite Marvel movie that they've come out with so far.
Yeah, I think that maybe that's true for me as well. My favorite part about Winter Soldier and anything that involves the Captain America character right now is his fighting style.
Oh yeah, he's like
Because
kicking people.
We have all these superheroes that fly or shoot lasers.
See, I definitely agree. I thought
And
that's
meanwhile,
what...
Captain America, he just sort of runs through everyone. He just kind of bolts right into you, and it's no problem. He's just like, I'm going to run through you, through a wall, through this next guy, and it's just so entertaining because Spider-Man, you know, he's swinging, he's flying, and Batman, he's swinging, he's flying, and Captain America, he's just like running by, smacking you with the shield, and on his way.
Yeah, that's what I agree with. That's why I thought it was like my favorite, because like just watching him fight is so badass. Like when he first scene when he like jumps on the boat and he's kicking people and they slam into the side of the boat and flip over the railing, and then like he's like chucking his shield everywhere. He's like
I made some good noises, I think, in the theater. It's like, oh yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I need to change my pants.
Watch him smack people with a shield for hours.
Yeah, definitely. Man, just like his pace too, you know? I mean, it's just, I honestly think he would stand, maybe not against Thor, but like if him and Iron Man actually went like toe to toe, it would be a good fight. I mean,
we saw a little bit of that in Civil War.
And I mean that's
right?
coming. I know we're seeing that coming up, but like, I mean, do you not believe after that movie that if Iron Man and Captain America got into it, that like it would be a toss-up who wins? Like, I don't think that's a Tony Stark victory. Like, I think Cap's gonna beat the fuck out of him first. Like, if anything,
it really depends on what Tony Stark has in his arsenal, even because
that's true.
In Civil War, like in the comic series, Iron Man, he doesn't lose all of his suit, right? He just loses like the pack and like some of the armor and the headpiece. He's still got like that enhancer undersuit thing, but I mean, Captain hands it to him.
Yeah,
he hands it to him hard.
All right. So so did Jake tell you about how we were planning on doing this Batman versus Superman debate thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
we have talked about that.
I'm really so excited for this idea. I think it will be like the best time I've had in a while.
See, this is your teammate on
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
Oh, really?
Like, I'm Superman, Team Superman.
And is Brian Team Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, fun. Well, I guess. Hey, Sean, let's call ourselves the Super Group.
Yeah. Or why don't we do the Kryptonians?
The Kryptonians, like we're owning with an O-W-N.
Yeah, I was gonna say with the zero.
Ooh.
Like, you know how you spell pone?
Right. Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pone and noobs. Oh, I don't think any of us here could be considered noobs.
No.
So, since this is the teaser, the idea is it's just a straight up debate for who's better. Is that that?
Well,
I don't know. We're just gonna
should lay some laws on that. Maybe we can decide them now. I don't know.
We'll definitely get back to some rules.
I was gonna say we should just like, shoot the shit and like, debate who's better, or like, who would win in a fight or some shit like that, and then have the listeners decide who debated best.
How about this? We can make that. Here's an idea. You can only have one. Who do you get?
One in the universe? Like, you only get
if it comes down to Batman and we should lay some serious ground rules for debate.
Okay, that's an easy one. You choose
one?
Superman because he's the only one who can actually save the world.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're not having the debate right yet.
Yeah, all right.
Because I don't want to open up that can of worms, because Jake doesn't even have a partner.
Right, okay.
Not that I need him. Just throwing that out there.
So we will be back at some near future, Days of Future Past podcast. Superman versus Batman. And that can be part of the whole hype for Batman versus Superman the movie.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Which we're all, I assume you guys are so disgustingly excited for it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
actually we
Batman looks the most comic book accurate he has ever in a movie.
And
we
all know that there was this initial hate for Ben Affleck being cast, but we know that these movies he's doing right now are so fantastic. We're not looking at, the Jennifer Lopez era Ben Affleck anymore. We're looking at the guy who's doing these critically acclaimed
Gone Girl,
films and
Argo,
films that are
Argo.
really
Town.
captivating people, and he's really showing off some chops. And for him to follow up where his career is right now by wanting to be Batman, we just must assume that he knows what he's doing.
Right. We should start like a hashtag I believe in Batfleck campaign.
Yeah, we should. Like, I'm all about that. And everyone knows that Kevin Smith would beat the fuck out of Ben Affleck if he screwed it up.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how quick would he be at his friend's house, be all like, Ben, you've ruined my life. Fat man on Batman out. And then he breaks his kneecaps.
Yep.
There's so
Wait,
much
Kevin
pressure
Smith?
on Ben Affleck, not from us, but from Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Definitely. They're friends. I mean, damn.
Would you want to hear about that for the rest of your life from the Fat Man on Batman?
Seriously.
All right. Didn't Kevin Smith get him
So-
the gig as Daredevil?
I don't know how much he got him that. I know that Ben Affleck isn't fond of that film, or at least his portrayal or something, but I believe that both Jake and I are Daredevil movie fans to at least some degree.
I like the director's cut. I don't like the theatrical. When the director's
Well, I like the... Oh,
like
go
it.
ahead.
when the director's cut came out and I watched that, I'm like, that was so much better than the other one.
Well, it's all about... There's several elements, I think, to that movie. One being the bleach bypassing that they used to make the city look all decrepit and comic booky, you know, without just animating the whole thing. They just put it into the system and rendered it all these different colors.
Mhm.
And I think that was really a step in the direction where we got things like Sin City later.
No.
Oh right.
Yeah, like the computer imaging a whole city to look different. Same with things that may have taken a note from that, maybe like King Kong. I see the influence places. I think that was a big step in a cool direction.
That seems like a lot of-
environment-wise.
That seems like a lot what Zack Snyder does. How all of his films have like some kind of filter looking thing.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
each one of his movies has like a color filter. If you notice.
Especially,
Oh,
that just makes me wonder about this movie, you know? Like, how will just this upcoming movie, how is that color filter going to look? Like, are we going to be all depressing like in Man of Steel again, or?
Man of Steel wasn't depressing.
I thought that Man of Steel was really like sci-fi. That they were approaching Superman from the he's an alien. We're bringing in spaceships.
Yeah, yeah,
This is
that's
totally sci-fi territory, and I
that's-
like that they went that way with it.
yeah, that's what he was talking about. Like his whole campaign was about how it's not about a superhero, it's about aliens. Like if an
Right.
alien invasion happened, I thought that was really cool. I
Yeah,
thought that
and
movie,
Superman.
like that's literally, all right. Before any whatever came out, my favorite Superman movie was Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. And then I saw Man of Steel, and I was so excited to see it, and I watched it, and I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of a toss up between both because both have Zod in it, and I don't know. I really liked Man of Steel.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was better than the previous Superman update,
Yeah, definitely.
which had good points but was inherently flawed.
Oh yeah, I definitely didn't like. No, I hated that one.
Well, I was actually telling Jake not all that long ago that I have a Wizard magazine from like 1997 where they're casting the Superman movie, right? And it's that Superman movie we never got. The one that like Kevin Smith wanted to direct and all these people.
Oh, Superman
into,
Lives.
Where maybe Nick Cage was going to play Superman.
Yeah, Superman
And-
Lives.
Right, and they were talking about Kevin Spacey, Lex Luthor, Kevin Spacey, Lex Luthor. And it's so many years later that they finally got him. So it's just sad it wasn't a better vehicle.
Sammy, I got a
for it.
kicker for you.
Yeah.
For Superman Lives, Henry Cavill tried out for Superman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
have
don't
they have pictures of him in the suit doing some test footage.
That's super bizarre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And Amy Adams also wanted to play Lois Lane in
Wow.
Superman Lives and in that Brandon Routh atrocity.
Huh.
How crazy is that? And
That's-
I like that picture of Henry Cavill where he's wearing the like George Reeves suit. Or is it
Chris-
George Reeves or
it's
is it
Christopher.
Christopher Reeves?
It's
It's just
Christopher.
in black and white.
yeah,
Well, George's suit was pretty much the Christopher Reeve suit. Right? There's not that much difference. It's
Oh, well,
just
the-
not
the
shot
S
in
is-
black and white. Different quality, probably.
the S is
The
a lot
S is-
smaller.
Oh, right.
Oh,
I did
no,
grow
yeah.
up on the George Reeves Superman version because that used to be on Nick at Night when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big thing I could do if I had already convinced my parents I was going to be sick the next morning for school. I could stay up and watch it. It was like at 10:30 or 11 or something.
When I was a kid, I used to walk around like legit with the Superman suit underneath my regular clothes, so I could change any moment.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I walked into high school in full Superman outfit. Definitely wore that to school. And because I did that, I was paid to do it by my relatives to show up to a family Thanksgiving that way.
That's great.
Are you
Did that
super?
as well.
Are you buff?
I am not. I am not.
I don't know if you've seen any
It was
pictures of
levity.
me.
I wasn't intimidating anyone.
I'm quite the portly fellow, so I could never pull off the physique of Superman, but I definitely have the face and hair.
Well, I don't even have the face or hair. So.
I shit you not, this is no joke. I have the Superman S curl. It's a natural curl in my hair.
My mother used to have to make one for me on my head before I would go to sleep as a child.
That is hilarious.
Mine is always there when I wake up and get out of the shower, so I kind of like mess it up so I don't look like a total dork.
If anyone is listening to this, I just want you to know that you are truly a geek. You appreciate us. Like, good job enjoying this podcast because we are some geeky fellows.
So, I mean, just for the debate purposes, I do assume you like Superman more than Batman, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to put it that way. I'm
not saying I hate Batman. I'm just saying Superman is first.
I want it known that I've got so much respect for Batman and that I've had such great Batman times, but that I'm a Superman guy. You know, and what's the question from Pulp Fiction? Are you Elvis guy or a Beatles guy? You can only be one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like making somebody choose that because I love Elvis, I love the Beatles.
Yeah.
It'd be really hard for me to decide. So I feel the same way, but I will be a Superman guy.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just gonna assume because you're in a band and stuff. Do you have any tattoos?
I am canvas, blank, and lily white.
Really? Okay, never mind then. I was gonna
We've
say
been known to wear some war paint.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
We'll paint up, but then we can change it. I don't have any actual tattoos. Why? Do you have a sweet Superman tattoo I need to see?
No, I don't have any tattoos, but I've always had this idea to have a tattoo on my chest that looks like the X-ray of like a chest cavity, you know? So you see like the ribs, and then the heart is the Superman symbol, and then it says Kryptonian at heart because I love.
Whoa,
Superman, right?
That'd be an intense body work,
right?
Yeah. Jeez.
I would love it.
That's fine.
I mean, it wouldn't be like a full chest piece. That'd be insane. No, it'd just be like a little like pectoral thing.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool sounding.
Mm. So, okay, talking about teasing this again before we move on, I thought about an idea to kind of drive the debate. So we have this new movie up and coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we can paint a picture of how it seems like it's going to be. This incredible tragedy has happened to the city of Metropolis. We know that we're not alone in the universe. There is this being on Earth that seems to want to help us, but we don't know, and it is godlike compared to us. And one of the normal citizens is already Batman, and at least this is the picture that's I've been told of, or this is the picture that's been painted in my head. And
yeah, he's been Batman for a while.
Mind, and Lex Luthor's mind, is okay. What do we do now? And somehow
Jesse Eisenberg, that casting Jesse Eisenberg as Luthor, that totally threw me for a loop.
Oh, I think it's great.
So do
I didn't expect it. I thought usually they cast someone older,
Right. I think that sometimes, for instance, the idea that Superman comes around and Batman's already been here, that's new.
Uh-huh.
Because Superman, it goes all the way back. So this is a reimagining in many ways.
I'll be right back, guys. Carry on. I'll be right back.
Pause it.
No. You guys go ahead. I have to go. I have a phone call. Keep going.
Oh, well, what I was going to say was, what about like Michael Clark Duncan and Daredevil, which we both love?
Yeah.
Nobody expected him to be black, and you're never going to beat it. And they certainly won't now that we don't have him anymore.
Yeah.
But he was the perfect Kingpin. It could never have been rivaled by anyone else. Once I saw it, it was like, you are quintessential, absolute, wonderful. Another reason I just have to like Daredevil. What a great villain. Great performance. Scary.
Agreed.
Great fighting. Like, I don't want to fight Kingpin. That's how you should feel about it.
Right. With on the note, he mentioned he thought somebody older would have been cast as Luthor. What's interesting is Jesse Eisenberg and Henry Cavill, I believe, are the same age. I believe they're both 34. And I think that adds kind of a cool little twist on it, because if you think about
That's pretty
Luthor,
much, what was going on in Smallville is they were very close to the same age. Luthor's a little bit older, but they're kids.
They're rivals, you know.
You want them to be sort of contemporaries. I don't think that... I mean, the only time we see like a much older Luthor is and I don't know how much older he really was maybe in the Christopher Reeve Superman, where he looks older. But I mean, if you go back far enough in the comic books, I mean, Luthor's not an old guy. He's sometimes bald, but he's not like
he's
an
just
old man. This isn't Mr. Smithers. This is the most dangerous, influential man in the world. And I don't think that necessarily, especially as we conceptualize it for this digital age, I mean, it's young people who have all the power, these Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, right? I mean, we're talking about young and ingenious and thinking on their feet. These aren't people who came into money. These are people who made their own with what they had, and I think we'd like to see a Luthor like that.
I think a made himself Luthor is going to be a very good Luthor to go with. Because, I mean, it's Superman. He comes to Earth, and he's just awesome.
Yeah, we'd like to see a self-made Luthor. That makes him want what he has more and makes him fight for it.
And also
more.
makes for a better him becoming president.
Absolutely. That would be great and terrifying. Oh, also about the age thing is, I think throughout comic book history, we have seen Lex Luthor gunning for Lois Lane, gunning for her drawers, you know? He's always trying to court Lois Lane, so they must be in some way some sort of contemporaries in age.
Well, yeah, but like, do you remember in like Superman Returns, like Brandon Routh looks like he's 25 or something, and then Kevin Spacey's like 40 something. But that's not. I mean, like I imagined
that was
like
a goofy fucking Luthor. Like
they were trying to make it the half comedy Luthor of the Christopher Reeve, but it doesn't fit when you give it all that. Like, I mean, it just didn't play off as much like a comic book as in Christopher Reeve, where you can take that levity because it seemed more cartoonish, I believe.
Well, the thing that I thought was weird though, like, because I think Henry Cavill, he looks like he's like probably 35 in the movie, right? But like Jesse Eisenberg looks like he's only like 20 something.
Yeah, he looks very young.
Yeah, I wonder how he'll look when he's bald. I bet he'll look cool when he's bald.
We can, so soon, Batman, Superman.
We will have the debate.
Today.
We will, our debate will, see, we don't know the plot of the movie, so.
And we don't want to know because I hate spoilers.
Yeah, we don't
Dude, I hate spoilers so fucking much, you wish I not hate spoilers so much.
I have to stay off the internet, like,
real quick,
right before movies.
Real quick.
Jake, tell Sammy how pissed off I get about spoilers. I get, like, death threat.
His brother is, Brian... Sorry, Brian. You know, if you hear this at some point in time, sorry, but you're the worst with fucking spoilers. He has this friend. Do you know about the boxing glove arrow, like Green Arrow with the boxing glove? You know what I'm talking about?
I'm trying to understand.
Sammy's not into
I don't know as much about Green Arrow, but I know a little bit.
It's just a goofy cartoon.
Green Arrow is famous for, you know, being Green Arrow, and then he's also famous because he has these things that are called trick arrows. One of the most notable, famous ones is the boxing glove arrow. And since the TV show Arrow has started, we have been waiting for this boxing glove arrow to make its debut and appearance, right? And
like, it was an Easter egg that it was going to happen eventually. And we were all like, yes.
You were ready for it.
Yeah,
each episode we're waiting. Each episode we're waiting for it, right? And this season they introduce Wildcat, and he's a boxer, and like, oh, dude, it has to be in this season somewhere. And so we're just waiting on the edge of our seat. Each episode, is it in this one? Each episode, is it in this one? And one of Brian's friends, that asshole, posted boxing glove arrow. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Like right when it happened, it was so fucked up.
That's awful.
I
know
I commented on the guy's thing. You spoiling fuck and unfriended him immediately.
Yeah, and it's not polite to spoil things, and so we won't spoil any more for you guys.
Yeah.
Soon, Superman, Batman: The Debate, which will be almost as good as the movie. That's what we've all decided.
Yeah, pretty much.
If not better.
Check out. This is available on YouTube and iTunes.
YouTube, iTunes.
What's the parent site?
Nerdoverload.com.
And feel free to go to upallnights.com and download a bunch of music for free and see my well, I don't know if it's less geeky, but it's my other side as a rock and roll person.
Hey Sammy, do you ever think about like merging your geeky side with the rock side and like writing some geeky songs or something?
That would be beautiful.
I think it would just have to occur to me. And like I used to cover a little bit of Sunshine Superman, and I could probably play that for you guys at some point. I do my own version of that Donovan song, and that actually features both Superman and Green Lantern as characters in that song. I myself have stayed away from it because Brad Roberts, an amazing songwriter from a band called Crash Test Dummies, wrote a song called the Superman song, and I can't touch it.
Is that the one where Superman never made any money?
That's the one, and that's the only song about Superman that I like.
Really?
Yeah, like that, like the Kryptonite song. I don't get down with that sickness.
What about the Scrubs theme song?
That is a really
good not a fan, and I'm not a fan of I even like Eminem. I don't like his Superman song because they're just missing the point.
I actually like Hans Zimmer, dude. If I ever die, which he'll probably die before me, but if I end up dying before him, I hope he scores my movie.
Dude, I'll score your movie.
I don't know. Hans Zimmerman might be a little better. Is it Hans Zimmer or Hans Zimmerman?
I think it's Hans Zimmer.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it isn't.
Zimmerman is Bob Dylan.
I'm sorry, Sam.
We're trying to pull different ways, and we're wearing the same headset.
Oh, no.
But I think we do have to wrap it up.
Yep. Let's wrap it up. This was a great cast. Sammy,
we had a lot of fun.
Thank you for being with us.
Great guest.
We just shook hands. You guys didn't see it.
Yeah, we definitely.
It's funny. I find myself pantomiming during our cast sometimes. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? You guys can't even see this.
Yeah, like just doing stuff with your hands.
Well, we should do a live action one soon.
I see. The thing is, I said we should, if we get some webcams, we can do like Google Hangouts and have like people be interactive and shit. But the Tweedledee and Tweedledum don't have webcams, so.
Well, we'll figure that out on this end. We'll figure it out.
Eventually. Thanks
so much for your time, Sean. I can't wait to be on your team for the big debate.
Yes, it's going to be great. I hope you bring your A game.
I'll bring my game.
I'm bringing my B game. I'll tell you that much. Brian will be ready.
Everyone's gonna. I think that will be the podcast that finally just goes viral.
Yeah,
it'll be called 4 Geeks Get Angry About Batman Superman. And everyone's.
I do hope we keep it civil though. I don't want to get like heated arguments, like like you fucking asshole. No, it's like this.
Well, I guess we'll just have to see.
Kind of like I imagine it. That way. Did you ever watch that Ken Ham debate with Bill Nye?
Yes, it'll be more like that.
Yeah, I hope it's like civil.
You'll be the Bill Nye.
Yeah, and you guys will be Ken Ham at the Creationist Museum.
Sorry. All right.
Well, thank you, Geeks. We'll catch you later.
Catch you next time, Geeks.
Yeah, keep on geeking in the free world.